What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brock, and tonight we are joined once again by Matthew and Kevin Butcher. How's it going, guys?
Good. Thanks for having us, Brock. Mike.
No problem.
Guys are joining the two-time club with Michael Barada.
Two-time.
Yep. We need to get him on a third time.
Yeah, I remember Mike's comment. If we had the Butchers on, we'll have anybody on.
We haven't told anybody no yet, have we?
No.
You can tell me no once in a while. Anyway, glad to have you guys back. Tonight we are discussing, hold on, I just lost my view here. The Ultimate Gladiators, the updates of Massacre and Brute, as well as how detailed is your Fed? Which could be pretty awesome because I've been on both ends of that spectrum, and I'll gladly share my over detailed Fed and why it lasted all of 6 cards.
Yep.
Yep.
We know you two are the big into the Gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
So we have you on every time we have Brute and Massacre.
Yeah, Matt said, "What are we doing tonight?" And I said, "Brute and Massacre." And he goes, "Again?"
Yeah. You guys are stuck.
I said,
yeah.
Stuck forever.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine.
Hey, if Massacre was stuck with Brute all these years.
Exactly.
Matthew's stuck with me.
Right?
I have they were a good tag team before, but soon as Tom, put them through the cleansing and increased them,
yeah,
it made them the most dominant tag team for about 5 years, I think.
Sounds about right.
And then any future Gladiators to come were kind of in that same boat. So
yeah, they were always just the greatest, no matter which iteration, usually.
Tag team wrestling personified, I guess, is what you could say for
the
Gladiators. They always seem to have the best team.
Like as the original Brute and Massacre, I think they held my GWF tag title 3 times, but as the Ultimates, Brute captured another 4 and Massacre captured a 5th with Spike. And that was an overpowered tag team.
Who'd Brute win his other tag team title with for you?
He didn't. He only captured it 7 times and Massacre 8.
Oh, okay.
I gave Brute a singles run. He wanted a singles push because he was the only Gladiator not getting any singles titles. And he captured a couple. He captured the TV title just because he could outlast everyone.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, 9 names, you're gonna hit him.
Most of my memories of Brute were when he was a manager. That's like what I really remember him as. But like looking back at these cards, like he definitely was the weak link.
Unless you hit him with good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he was too much of a weak link. He was just the defense.
Yeah, but what level offense did you actually want Brute in there on? I mean,
good point.
Massacre on 1, Massacre on 2, and Massacre with the 2 finishers on 3.
I always started Brute on 1 because even if he lost initiative, he was going to get level 2. It was only a matter of time. Just because he had so many names, it was going to be reversed.
Yeah, I mean, out of his 12 defenses on level 1 and 2, 9 of them are reversals, so 3/4 ain't bad.
Yeah.
9 reversals, 1 hurt, like 2 hurts, and one of those is a tag and the other is a dazed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's getting back onto offense.
Just to tag out.
Yep. That's his role. If Massacre needs a breather, you bring in Brute, get punched in the face for a little bit, and he just no-sells it. And moves on. Tries to tag out immediately.
I think I just compare him to the other big guys the Gladiators have had since him. kind of like filled his role in the tag team, like Overkill and such, and like they've all been like pretty decent. Like they're all kind of slow and don't have like a high powered level 2 offense, but like Overkill had like the 2 finishers. One of them was a +4 on level 3 offense. That's kind of the standard that I hold him to. And looking back, it's just the error, I think, when they were dominant.
Right.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of tag teams then.
Yeah,
a lot of makeshift tag
gods.
teams. Yeah, right.
And then this was, as we were just talking before we hopped on the air, this was the only team where Tom released them and then went, I got to make them tougher.
Did he change both cards or just
He
Brute?
changed both cards. So this was the originals back. And the difference is on the number 5 spot, he changed it from a hurt to a dazed. So it wasn't a lot.
Okay.
He just gave him one extra bit of defense.
So they're both technically 2090, correct?
89, isn't it?
No,
2090.
Was it
Okay.
90?
And then he took away a power reversal on Brute as well.
So I think they only have the updated ones on the online database. Is what I'm looking at.
They wouldn't give you this one.
Yeah, makes sense. Huh.
Yeah, they were sent. I don't even know if they were sent out. I can't remember. It's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Tom didn't like them, so I think he did a recall, or just as soon as he saw them, he went, "No, they're not tough enough," and he gave away these cards at a few of the cons. And on Massacre, he kind of did the same thing. Like the original one, Massacre only had one name on his card for reversal.
Oh yeah.
And he gave him 2 on level 1, and he had 3 downs and a pin on level 3.
Oh, no kidding.
Those originals are collector's items, Mike.
Yep.
And his ability power were -1, -2.
Because I don't even think I have my originals. Those are probably pretty rare.
So they changed the power and agility on Massacre as well. Made him a little bit stronger.
Massacre got a big upgrade.
That makes sense. Did his tags stay the same? Did he still have 8 total, or was it just?
Yep, he still had 8 total.
Okay.
You just gave him some names, increased his power, and took away a down. So what we do at the end of the show, go, how would I make this guy tougher? Tom beat us to it.
Yeah.
Right now, Barry Walsh is losing his mind. There might be 2 cards out there he doesn't have.
Yep.
Oh man.
Right.
If he listens to this, I'm not sure he does.
And I
better.
even wrote on them.
Oh no.
Because I didn't have, I wanted more wrestlers, right? This is before tag team. So I named them Dagger and Sword, and I called them the Lethal Weapons. And there were 2 other gladiators that feuded the other gladiator, that feuded Brute and Massacre. So I had a gladiator versus gladiator feud.
That's awesome.
Did the updated ones have their like ring ratings and like disqualification and stuff changed all?
No, all that's the same.
Okay.
They got disqualified a lot too then.
Yep.
Yeah. 6.
6 DQ is brutal.
Yeah, it is.
I like it though, because there are guys who just, they're
don't
gonna
care.
lose. Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing they changed on Massacre too. On his level 2 offense, his number 4 was a choice C, and now it just goes straight through.
Oh.
Made
Nice.
him even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, he power creeped him super good.
We go.
I need to get those original cards. You need to auction them off,
So-
Mike.
I have a question then. So in your Fed, when you would play Massacre as like a singles guy with the tag finisher, how did you guys rule the tag finisher with the decapitator? Did you just have him do a different finisher for 0?
No, I just re-rolled it.
Okay.
I always
re-rolled.
I always just did if you rolled the tag finisher, you just automatically did the other one. But then I realized later that probably wasn't the best as far as like breaking something. Because that gives you a 30%, 33% chance as opposed to 1 in 6. I don't think there was an official rule on that then.
They've fixed it recently with the newer sets. They have tag moves that will have an asterisk that says in singles matches use this instead. And sometimes
like
it's the same move, but it's downgraded. So instead of being like, like clothesline 3 asterisk, it'll be like clothesline 2 if he's doing it by himself type deal.
Yeah.
That
I like that.
Sense.
You see, cause Massacre, his half of the decapitator, he's the one that came off the top turnbuckle with the clothesline, like Hawk in the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
So I still think Massacre could come off the top rope with a clothesline, just make it a 0.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just like wait for them to get to their feet and just like top rope clothesline them.
Right.
While we're talking about tag team moves, this came up recently. I can't even remember where we were talking about it. And it used to be in the rule book, but it's not now. Where if you hit a tag move, say you did the decapitator +4 tag, it's on an automatic switch. If there's a kick out, Brute's now the legal man.
Right.
Why'd they take that out of the rule book? Because I was doing that on stream and people are like, why are you doing that? I'm like, well, that's
Because
just
you
the
tagged.
rule. Right.
Massacre hits the decapitator +4 tag. He tagged Brute into the match
To do the move.
So during the pin, Brute is the one doing the covering.
See, that's not the way I thought about it. I thought because Massacre's coming off the top rope with the clothesline, he's the one doing the pin.
Right.
No, he tagged him in. It is a tag move, but that's not. It signifies that Massacre tagged in Brute. Brute then picked him up on his shoulders, and Massacre came off the top rope. Then it's up to Brute to cover him.
Oh, okay. So he did the tag before the move. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it used to be in the rules, but they took it out in the recent iterations of it. Since we got the new charts in 2012, I think. So I don't understand that, because now it's like all the newer players are kind of like, well, why are you doing that? Well, it used to be a rule. I don't know if it still is. We have to get some clarification on that.
Right.
I never even realized that.
You know the answer you get from Tom. I don't
Up
recall.
to you, promoter.
I don't recall. But I wish I had the notes that Mike does. Well, I used to have notebooks, but in all my moves and everything, they've got lost. So to ask me about my history and how many times I actually held the titles, I don't know. But the one thing I do know that I kept is the history of my Galactic Cup, which I call the Predator Cup now. And Brute and Massacre won it 5 times. Second only to Rack and Ruin, who won it 6.
Nice.
But Overkill is the man in the cup. He won it 8 times.
Holy crap. How often do you have it? Once a year or?
Yeah, just every time I get a new set. I used to wait till like half the year, but anymore I've been one of my first cards. I only use the guys in that year, and Overkill won it 3 times with Thunder and 5 times with Malice. So Malice and Overkill had won it 5 times, and Brute and Massacre has won it 5 times.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Any kind of run like that.
Yes, I look at on the back because I do have a detailed fed on my little cards.
I know.
They won Tag Team of the Year. They never won it prior to this.
Really?
Prior to getting an upgrade, because they'd hold the tag titles, but it wouldn't be for that long.
Huh.
And then, but they won Tag Team of the Year 92, 93, and 94. It was like the Road Warrior stretch. Nobody could unseed them. And then there was a second runner-up in 95 and 96.
That was their time period right there. That stretch.
Yep.
Looking at the online database, it shows the decapitator as a running clothesline, and they prop them up against the ropes and like clothesline them over the ropes.
They both do?
Yeah. So like when another gladiator like solo does it says like decapitator, like Disaster had a couple of those. He just like props you against the ropes and like running clotheslines you over the ropes. So it's not the Doomsday device per online.
Is there a move description in the 2087 booklet? Because I thought for sure he described it as Brute would pick him up on his shoulders and it was a Doomsday device.
Yeah, I always pictured it as a heart attack.
That would work.
Yeah, I don't have the old book. I have the remastered one. I don't have the new one or the old one.
It's in online. you can go to downloads and you can download the booklet or the cards.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Let's look. Like as you're talking about stuff, I'll look.
All right, you're on it. It just made me log in again.
You came in kind of about the time Matthew did, Brock. Did you get to play with Brute and Massacre at all?
Yeah, the problem with us is we were playing catch up because I think the Galacticon, our first Galacticon was when 2107 came out. I think was the release for that, the CPC years, and we were just playing with. We just had the first set and a bunch of random special edition cards. Hence why I had Dreadnought and Comrade Terror together as a tag team.
I found it. So it says his finisher, the Decapitator, involved propping up a dazed wrestler against the ropes and running the full course of the ring with a deadly clothesline.
How's that a tag move?
I think they just do it together, like they hold hands, and
They both, yeah.
which is weird because like Massacre is way smaller than Brute, so like it's gonna be like holding a toddler's hand.
I don't see how Brute, if they're running, I don't see how Brute can keep up with Massacre.
He's probably not.
Maybe one's on the apron and hits him from the other side.
Oh, maybe.
It's up to you, promoter.
It is. Yeah, that doesn't need to be a tag move. So that, I mean, if they had that back then with the asterisks, that would have been a perfect move for it.
Yeah.
Mike, Pete posted a picture. I don't know if it was on Facebook or it was from 97. You're sitting next with your long ponytail. You're sitting next to a 7-year-old Matthew. Looks like you guys are playing a match. And you're sitting across the table from a young Todd Jorschel.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yep. That was Matt's first Galacticon. He was going to be 8 in December, but he was still 7 at that point. But so he's been playing it pretty much 3/4 of his life.
Nice.
I have an update for you guys. The Decapitator in the 2090 book, Massacre grabs you in a bear hug and then Brute clotheslines you.
So it is the heart attack.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the heart attack was.
Okay, I did have something right. I'm happy now.
How does Massacre not get smashed? But he's like he's holding the guy and he's just gonna get clobbered by Brute.
The bird just runs over him. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't have to jump to.
Brute was
funny, like
the Lord of Chunk for sure.
these two were definitely my, like 31 defenses for one title reign.
That's good.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
Like that's, that was 2 straight years of them holding the title for one title reign.
Yeah, because the dice are fickle. You try to set somebody up, but then the dice say nope.
I think the longest I had was the Animen, Badger and Ram, and they held it for like the whole year, and then they lost it in a tournament, and then they immediately won it back. But like nothing like 37. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's too many. It's crazy.
And Spike and Massacre hold the second longest title reign, and that was at 19 cards.
So is Massacre in your Hall of Fame as like one of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's the greatest of all time. Next to Billy Joe Boxer.
One of the funniest things I remember, I don't know if it was Tim or Chad or both, but they suspended Brute because of that update card for steroids.
Oh, yeah,
for steroids.
Yeah.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but when that Schnelly art came out, I mean, they kept the stats the same.
Oh, the one where he's like bending the frame.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty
Hold
cool.
on, I could pull that up.
That was still the same stats. Tom just had them redrawn.
That was 2095 as special edition, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The Massacre one, he's like flexing and he's like jacked.
Yeah, it's he's side view like that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mind Chuck Carter's 2090 Massacre. Yep.
And let me grab Massacre.
That was the first time that had ever been done, hadn't it? Where somebody's like messing with the card frame.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
You saw it a little bit after that, but I think that was the first one.
Like Chuck had guys, outside the frame every so often, but that was the first time they were, doing something with it, I think. Just a little different.
I like special edition cards. I wish they were still kind of a thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of those guys are, 10, 15-year card runs. It'd be nice just like new art, at least age them up a little bit that way.
Some of my favorite wrestlers ever are special edition cards, like Rising Sun, Thunder, Genocide. Like some of those guys, they got really good cards, but they're special edition cards. And yeah.
Did anybody not buy those?
No.
Right.
Just put them in the set,
Right.
I had these guys inducted into my Hall of Fame in 2104.
When did they retire for you?
You got to be retired 3 years, so they retired in 2101.
Okay.
Civil War.
So that's when they retired.
We're talking about Brute and Massacre, but we're also talking about Gladiators in general. I know, don't you guys think we need another Vengeance type? I mean, Matthew pointed it out. Look at Apex. He's almost in the exact same pose as Siege. Just two big gladiators.
I'm not gonna lie, when I just flipped through the cards when I first opened them, I thought he was an update for Siege.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of these guys.
I wish I had them both here. I don't. I could hold them both side by side. But
I don't understand your resolve, Mike. I understand you wanting to press through and play your own time, but I don't understand that you don't go ahead and buy the future sets.
Oh, I do. I have about 3 or 4 sets ahead.
Mm.
I don't buy. See, and I don't buy things 2135 because I'm probably never going to get to it in my lifetime.
Mm.
Doesn't that make you sad?
No, because if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I don't. I enjoy what I do.
You said you have everyone into your lowest level Fed, right? Because you have 3, and like the lowest level Fed is like there's no roster cap. It's just like whoever you want to have in there, right?
Yep.
So would you consider putting some of the newer guys from the colored new sets, like the new sets, into that?
I've thought about it, and I've started messing around with a few things.
Mm-hmm.
There's that I don't even know where they came from, but like there's a new Comrade Terror, but he's human, and Killer Queen.
Yeah.
And
those are the 30th anniversary cards.
So I was going to introduce them as their own group and come in. I have a little feud set up. I'm going to introduce Omega and Chaos Supreme. I'm going to have an invasion, but I'm going to have from Cronus. I'm going to have a Kronos invasion. So the good guys and bad guys are going to come in, but the Chaos Supreme is going to steal the Chaos's cube in this one, so that's how he gets downgraded.
Okay.
All right.
So
there you go.
Going to steal the cube, but and then how I'm going to have it is, I'm going to invite more and more of these Cronus guys to come in and take over.
They will take over.
No, I fully expect them to take over and dominate. But then I'm going to have them split up. So some of them realize what they're doing is bad, and some are going to be good. But I think I'm going to have Omega lead the bad guys, just for a complete twist, and Chaos Supreme be the hero.
That'd be cool.
You talk about power creep. I don't think you know how good these Kronos guys are.
Oh no, I know how good they are. That's where I'm getting the idea from. I don't play different dimension. This is going to be a dimension thing, and I'm
Hey man, do it up. You'll enjoy it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with like how well the new cards actually play. I think.
I agree.
Oh, those Cronus cards, I've played with them before in tournaments, and I've seen guys use them. So I know they're crazy tough, but that's what I'm fully expecting. I
like the quick matches with those cards.
Do make for quick matches.
Yeah.
Race to the finisher a lot of times.
Yeah.
All right. So all that said about these updated cards, how would you change them? We saw how Tom changed them once. How would you guys change the final versions of these two cards?
Okay. Give us your best power creep.
I would do what Matt said for Massacre. I would put an asterisk on the Decapitator for Massacre, give him an option for a singles move. So that would give him 2 finishers, but still.
Yeah, I like that.
No, that's.
I think that would still be at least a +2, a clothesline against the ropes.
Yeah, considering what the cleansing is, yeah. The cleansing is like he holds you down and like grinds his like knee or something in the back of your head and like does like a knee drop onto the back of your head.
That's
He
just
like
being a
grinds your face
jerk.
in the mat. Yeah, he just like cheese graters your face,
So he kills you.
more or less.
Yeah, I think I might actually turn the choice H into just a death jump.
I can see that.
Give them the option
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of making it automatic.
I mean,
Yeah.
the way that I would play him with the Decapitator, I would just have it be like another 0 finisher and just call it good. So in my mind, I would just like maybe take one of his days on level 2 defense and make it like a level 1 reversal.
That's a good one.
He's just kind of weak defensively. Could we do that since he only has 2-on-1? It has to be less than the level above it, right?
Yep. Well,
Okay,
it could be
we couldn't do
equal
that.
or
It can be the
less.
same. Yeah, I think
Equal or less. Yeah, then I would change one of the days to a Massacre one, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd do that too. I'd do it on one of the hurts though. I guess yeah, I'm gonna do it on the hurt.
See, I was going less power creepy because like a daze is already kind of like similar. So like the next step would be like reversal 1, but hey.
Power creepy is a great term. I'm gonna use that from here on.
Hey man.
You're power creepy.
Has someone made a creeper like bootleg the power creeper and have it just be like OP? You're welcome.
You have to do that now.
Yeah.
No, that's
Awesome. Good idea.
That's a Brock and Mike exclusive.
No.
Power creeper.
He can be a Chronos limited edition.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
have him
it.
go kick all of Rob's guys' ass. Just have him beat them all up. I love it.
The power creep.
Okay, so Brute.
Yeah, what about Brute? Let's look at Brute. Let's see.
I was thinking a name on level 3. Just why not?
You mean
Take out the
just
days.
double down?
Take out the dazed and slap a name there.
Just double down on the defense. I can see that.
Why not? It's not like he's going to do anything once he gets on offense.
But you can't have too many names. 10 names, good even number.
His death jump kind of bothers me. I mean, like bigger guys like historically have like a bad death jump rating, but like if you think about like actual wrestling, big guys that get jumped on, they just like they catch people or they'll like smack them down. Like they
Shrug
don't
it
take
off.
death jump moves. They just don't do it. So it's like I think maybe put that to a B would help him out a lot because if he gets death jumped, he's just gonna get like pinned every time, or like the guy's gonna be level 3 offense pretty much like 60% of the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I was for me. I'd actually just give him his a second down on level 2.
That's exactly what I would do.
His forearm smash would be a down.
Yeah.
And then get rid of the choice D. And then to keep the choice, I would just make a regular move and make a choice A so he could keep the end of ropes. But I would make 5 a 3 move.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, you also could maybe change up one of the agility checks too, because he's gonna basically overturn on agility if you play by the original rules. He's just gonna always
every
try
time.
out that running shoulder and just completely whiff.
I think just to be different, I'll change that reverse pile driver on number 1 on level 3. I'll move the choice H up and flip flop those and make that a level 3 move. Because if you're lucky enough to get him onto level 3 offense, it would suck to roll out 1 and go right back up to 2.
I tell you what.
Oh,
man,
yes.
Recently, oh my god, dude! Every time I'm like, all right, these guys level 1 offense. They both have level 2 moves. All right, and it's a 1. I'm like, oh my god, I just want the match over with, and they just don't do it.
You know how many times I'd have You know, you get him down with Incredible Badger. He comes in with Body Slam #1 or whatever it is. Like, damn it.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took to get Bishop Hell down?
That's the risk you take. Yeah, a lot of guys had that then.
You know, Bruce's not a very good tag wrestler. He
He's
doesn't
not.
have a whole lot of tags because he has so many reversals, right?
He's got a
Yeah,
So, like, he
solid
doesn't have to
2.
be good.
He's greedy.
Yeah, he
He's
just-
selfish.
He just reverses and then tags out. So I mean, like theoretically, they're all kind of tags, right?
He's Ole Anderson.
If you want him to be.
He doesn't sell, just walk over and tags.
We found out tonight that Brute's just a big jerk. He only cares about
he's-
himself.
Thank you.
I think in terms of like the cards that have been out since him, like he's very unique in a lot of ways. Like you don't see wrestlers with 9 reversals anymore. That doesn't
Sure.
happen. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And a days with that on level 3, he's so solid defensively. Like you just can't pin him. Like maybe make his pin like a 4-1 and just be like you can't beat him.
Yep, just to rub it in.
But that's why rolling him in singles is so excruciating.
It is.
You can't pin him, but he can't get you down.
No.
But what if you make him like exclusively like a hardcore type guy? Just have him like do cage matches and like street fights, and that way he's always just rolling on a chart to do moves, and it like it's just like he hits you with a chair, he hits you with a foreign object.
Yeah, and then his 2 out of the rings on level 3. That's good.
Oh yeah, he just headed to cage 3, man. Just bash these
Yeah.
brains in.
He's unstoppable. He just needs to find his niche.
You can book it, make it work.
We can slide in on over to our topic on how
Okay.
on how detailed you make your feds. So Brock, you said you had a super detailed fed for 6 whole cards.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. I might rename it to Spreadsheet Wrestling. I wish I had it in front of me. I couldn't find it. But I kept track of how many times like a finisher was used in the match, how many times a guy kicked out of it, the length of time. Like I'd set a timer for every match. This was ridiculous. It
Yeah.
felt like work every time I went to
Yeah.
play. I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. So they quickly just abandoned it. I'm like, it's gonna be so cool, all these stats, because I'd plug everything in after every match. I'd plug it into a spreadsheet and it'd have all these calculations and percentage of effectiveness for every finisher and all this stupid stuff. I'm like, it was just stats is all it was.
And it completely took the fun out of the game, didn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
now I just don't. I never really kept good records, and I think that was my way of trying to overcompensate for that.
Mhm.
Right.
Where it's just a
So you
ridiculous
did a
amount of
complete-
records.
Overcorrection, and then now
Yes.
you're kind of like back into it makes sense.
Yeah. So it was the pendulum swings, and now I'm back somewhere in the middle, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not fun. I'm trying to think of all the other things that I kept track of, and it would go out to it was like a database. It would go to every character. It would have win-loss for every wrestler. Like say every time Santos fought Creeper, it would have that. It would automatically populate that and have all this stuff. And
Are you good with Microsoft Excel or something? Like you
I am.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it got ridiculous, but
Yeah.
Wait
it
till
was pretty good stats.
Wait till Thanos fights the Power Creeper.
Yeah, he's never gonna beat him.
Never.
What about you guys? You guys have details, a lot of details in your fed?
Buddy, about the detailed I get is keeping track of pin tokens.
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I still did that because I saw somebody post. That's how they do their star ratings.
Oh, that's
Right.
Thomas Keane.
Was that Thomas? Okay.
Yeah, he what he does is if it's 2 guys and one guy's got 5 pins and the other guy's got 3, he adds them up, divides by how many wrestlers are in there. So it'd be a 4-star match.
It's a cool way to do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
And if it's a tag match, he adds up all the tag token, divide by 4.
Makes
See,
sense.
it's so hard to be original in this game because not Brock, but Grant does that too. And I don't know if Grant's ever seen Thomas's fed or vice versa. So, who came up with what, but yeah, I saw Grant doing that too.
It's a good idea. Whoever started it.
Well, I started using it. I'm like, hey, good idea. I'll
It's
snag that.
It's an easy way to just apply it.
Just judgmental.
Mhm.
Exactly. now you have like just a scientific way to be like, all right, they have this many pin tokens. It's this kind of match. This
I
many
think that's what
kickouts.
Meltzer does. He sits there, keeps track of how many times people kick out. Because near falls are what equals a good match now in today's pro wrestling standards.
And that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
People used to get pinned with a vertical suplex. Now you got to hit them with 50
Truck.
50 incredible finishers. And
Stupid power creep.
yep,
The power
there it
creeps
is.
everywhere.
the IRL power creep. My pets, I've ranged from just playing the game and not tracking it at all to doing like a spreadsheet like Brock's talking about. I get sick of posting on the board, so I just like don't do it anymore. But I used to like try and type it out, and then I did a thing where I would like record like a YouTube short talking about like the card real quick and just be like kind of like voicing what I think's happening and like the plot. And then I was like, yeah, this is too much still. Like I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It took the fun out of it. I think realistically though, like I just get bogged down with like trying to document this stuff because it's like I want to be able to just play, you know, when I want to play, and I have to like get everything set up to like record stuff too. So I'm kind of curious though when it comes to recording tag matches for you guys. I've always wondered, like, if you have someone that like tags with someone on the regular, and then they tag with someone else, like, you know, randomly, sporadically, like a third person. Do you keep track of like each individual tag team's record and then their record individually? So it's like singles tag and then like a secondary tag, or do you just kind of like say like he's this in tags and he's this in singles?
I bet your Mike did.
So
or does.
I have something for that.
Cool.
So, well, you know, when it comes to detail, so this will save my tag team. So that, you know, you can't really read it much, but it'll have, you know, the name, how many points are worth, and then I break it down to draws, and then wins by count out, DQs, pins, submissions, and then I total that up, and losses by count outs, DQs, DDQs, pins, and submissions. But if I'm having, say,
Badger teams with Ram. What if he teamed with Reptillo for a match?
So yeah, in case that instance, if they won, I'd give them points in their singles.
Okay.
So say they beat a 3-point team, they'd each get 2 points in their single area. But I'd also have them tag out on a 4 or a 5, depending on if they teamed up before or if they're in the same group. If they're in the same group, it's a 5-pin. Not a 5-pin, sorry, a 5 tag.
Okay.
Because they're not friends. You know, they're friends, but they don't work well together.
Right.
But yeah, I keep track. You know, I always show the blue cards online. Keeps track of how many titles they've held, who they feuded on the back, all the super cards if they appeared on one of my pay-per-views. Year-end awards. I do all the year-end awards.
See, I love your system. It's quick and dirty, but yet it's so useful to look back on.
And every year I just take it and I put it into a folder and I mark it, 2090, 2091, so I can go year to year. And at one point I'm going to put it all in a spreadsheet, so I'll just go back and add, so I can click and, yeah, Chaos. I know Chaos has the most wins, hands down. Nobody's close to him. He's got, I could look up 131 wins.
Damn power creeper.
He started it all.
He did.
I mean, I want the power creeper to rival Chaos.
Vengeance. Vengeance has submitted 15 times. That guy just does not like pain. He can dish it out, but he can't take it.
Wow.
It's because I think he feuded Wolf for a long time, so Wolf just kicked the crap out of him. So he submitted a lot to Wolf, and then he'd fight other guys who used submission finishers. And so it would add up like that. But there was a guy named Steven Scher. I think he came to 2 Galacticons, somewhere in like the 5 to 8 area. And this guy had a detailed fed. Like it was crazy. Like and it was probably about 50 pages on the stuff he did with his fed. And so he had it worked out where wrestlers t-shirt sales.
Wow.
I kind of like what he did, and he gave me one of his things. He gave one to Tim Dalton as well, because Tim looked at it. You know, he's a an accountant. He looked at it and he's like, "This is insane! Like the depth." And depending on the guy's win-loss records, on how much his sales went up on his merch.
That's pretty cool.
And you know, if you got cut on VHS tapes and toys, and he'd make toys out of them, because he had to get us to a certain win percentage before he'd get toys. So his merch would go up, so he'd become more popular, and he'd get title shots and TV time. And I'm like, holy crap!
That needs to be a chart.
Favorite wrestlers are the guys that, like, you know, they suck, but they just, like, you know, they would sell merchandise like Put the Door, Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem.
Yeah, have like a catchy entrance song, and like everyone loves him, and he's like very flamboyant in the ring and does like crazy stuff. Like
Mayhem is a merchandise dream.
He is.
That's what I'm saying. He sell all the merchandise, but he beat every match. Like,
so I took something like that, and for my lower tier fed years ago, when I just ran the 2 feds, I gave every wrestler a fan rating. So there were 300 fans. So if they're on a card, 300 fans are going to show up. So I kept track of attendance, because I don't know. I don't follow, and I know guys who go, oh yeah, they're in this arena. They're in this arena. I don't do arenas.
Mm-hmm.
I say they're going around the galaxy, but I have no idea where, I don't get that. To me, that's an in-depth where I don't keep track of. I don't know where anybody wrestles. I don't know arenas. I don't know moons where they all face.
I always pictured they just kind of like had like one centralized like GWF like arena that was like a ship, and it would just like go to different,
like a Death Star.
Yeah. Or if they like wanted to do like a special pay-per-view that's like, this one's on Aethra, and it's like you actually do it at like an Aethra stadium, but like generally like regular shows and regular pay-per-views are just like in their own arenas, like their locker rooms don't change, that kind of stuff.
I picture my GWF as in a massive space station.
Right.
Yeah. Show up.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It shows up to your galaxy or your
and you come by a ticket.
Solar system.
Yeah. And so there's 3 large platforms, and the GWF has their own space station where everybody goes to. The NGA has their own space station in another galaxy, or in the same I picture it's all in the same galaxy, just spread apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Mike, I guess this falls into how detailed is your fed. I've never asked you your rating system. When you say this guy's a 5, this guy's a 1, when you flip the card over, how do you determine who's a 2, who's a 3?
Well, most guys are a 3. So if I could take, okay, I got Power Slam right here. So I look at Power Slam, and he's a 1-point guy for me. So he's got to have 2 C's. To become a 1-point guy, you got to have at least 4 different categories. So you got to have 2 C's, 0 finisher. You can't keep somebody down. You only have 1 down on level 2, and your agility and powers have to be, you can't have negatives in both. You got to have a plus. And that and that's it. So so he's got 5. He's got 5 of the thing.
Who steps up from Power Slam? Who would be a 2?
So if I looked at that, let's see, I got them all right here. I could go to. Here we go. I'd have Son of Ram is a 2. Surrender is a 2.
Okay.
Salvage, because I use some of the GWC guys, is a 2.
So you just like determine criteria, and then you say like you meet this many of this criteria, so like you go to this spot on like the point system.
Yeah, most guys are a +3, but every so often I'll move guys up. Like Chaos is my only +5 wrestler I've ever had. And most guys, like I had Matador at a 3, and all of a sudden Matador's kicking ass, so he gets bumped to a 4. Mayhem, he did the same thing. He gets bumped to a 4. And I've had guys that should do well but don't and can't, for some reason. Like I had Alpha Force at a, he come in at a +4 because he had a double +5 finisher. That dude could not win. Couldn't string more than 2 wins together, so he's only a +3 wrestler.
But was he
What about,
fighting, was he fighting chaos every card?
No, he's a guy I just couldn't win. You know, I don't think he's ever really done anything in my Fed. He's never strung wins together, and so he's a +3 wrestler. So a lot of it becomes judgmental. So I do have criteria for the 1 and 2 point guys. After that, it becomes kind of judgmental. You know,
Gotcha.
do you move him up? Do you move him down?
What about like Pegasus? Was he a +4 guy?
Oh yeah, Pegasus definitely. He started out as a +3, and then when he got his upgrade, he went to a +4. Because he's definitely a he's a top tier guy.
Yeah, when I think about like that era and like guys that would be a 4, it'd be like Spike, Pegasus, Matador, Chaos, or like the 4 that come immediately to mind, and then like Alpha Force. But you said he didn't do anything for you, so that's kind of hilarious to me.
And my +4 guys, I got Chaos at a +5, Janus at a +4,
Okay, makes sense.
Matador at a +4, Mayhem at a +4, Pegasus +4, Raven +4, and that is it.
Just wait till the Power Creeper comes in as your first +6.
Well, yes.
Hey, the Power Creeper is gonna be the only wrestler with a legitimate reversal for 3. He's gonna be Power Creeper 3.
We need to make, the 4 of us need to get together and make this happen.
Yes.
I'm down.
Power Creeper.
Hey, Mike, do you think you could get Randy to draw it?
That I don't know. If I bugged him enough, I probably could. It'd be funny, the Power Creeper.
That'd be hilarious.
I love it. It needs to happen. It has to happen though.
Matthew throws out one of his quips, and here it takes on a life of its own.
Just becomes
Hey, man,
so
that's how it
obnoxious.
goes. This is how it goes, dude.
That's how all the best ideas come to be, I believe.
Yeah.
The old Power Creeper. Should be good.
+6 finisher. Or it should be a finisher.
Finisher.
It automatically wins if you hit it.
No, see, we still want to make a guy that people would want to play with.
Oh
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Trust me, if I can go back to Galacticon 1, there were bootlegs out even then, and some of these bootlegs, like Chad Olsen can tell you, me and him were just wrestling these matches, and we're like, these guys have double +5 finishers, can put you down 4 times on level 2. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody uses those.
Nobody likes those guys.
No, it was, but I'm like, even back then, guys were taking advantage of some of the stuff.
I mean,
There
what
are no
about
guidelines.
what about the new changes for Galacticon in the Cup with the power creep for the female wrestlers? Cosmic Woman win it at all
Uh-oh.
by my suggestion, and yeah, let's talk about it.
I didn't even know that happened, and I heard it. I'm like, who the hell's Cosmic Woman?
Yeah.
I'm like, if that would have been me, I would have been protesting that match. I'm like, no, she's got to follow the rules. Where she gets negative, she gets -2 on her stuff. She gets pluses. I would have wrestled that in protest.
Yeah, man. Typical heel fashion.
Troy's Cup wins always have to be marred in controversy.
Yeah. Asterisks next to each one of them, man.
It is tradition, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing, Mike. If you ever have another Canada Cup with jobbers, oh my God.
That was so funny.
That was excruciating.
I mean, my matches were fun, but who won it all? Which one? Which
Mimic?
guy? Which
Mimic.
character? Mimic. Yeah,
The one that
that's
beat
not
you?
fair. That was not fair at all. He was
Mimic
my
is not
bracket.
a
That
jobber.
was not.
Well, see,
He was better than everyone.
And I tried to argue that with somebody. I'm like, for me, Mimic never, like, I think he only ended up with 1 win. He couldn't win for the life of me. So that's why I threw him in there. And people are like, he's not much of a jobber. I'm like, he fits a lot of the categories.
Michael Brada, the first 2-time appearance person on this show, gets Mimic in the Canada Cup.
Oh,
Well,
I think you're onto something.
Maybe next year, just don't give me the crappy brute. I'll be fine.
You're getting brute from here on out.
No.
No, you get Power Creeper.
Yes.
He's going to become an official
Amen.
card.
Hey,
Yeah, and in that one too, I made sure I had to give Pete Beck his Death Knight.
oh yeah. I asked Pete about that. I said, "Did you really drop that?" And he's like, "No, Mike just like said, here you go."
I don't think anyone would protest
I didn't
that.
mind fixing that tournament. No one's gonna care. Does anybody care? Pete Beck his Death Knight? No. Okay.
Nope. Yeah.
So next year, the twist in the Canada Cup is you think you won, but then you had to fight the power creeper. Think of the fun you can have with him. It's like when Kane used to be the guy that Vince used to scare people. Oh yeah, well tonight you're gonna face Kane. Nope.
Yeah.
You're gonna face the power creeper.
Oh man. I see some Facebook messages getting exchanged for move ideas and card ideas. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, this is really gonna take on a life of its own, I think.
You
It's
can always get Paul to do the art.
There you go.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Show
What's
him a
his
picture of the
finisher?
Creeper, and I'm like, put muscles on him and don't give him a creeper arm. No,
Yeah.
no Paul Orndorff creeper arm there.
Give him a giant arm instead. Or put it like a prosthetic on that. Like have him look like a little joystick with a big arm.
Oh man.
We need Brock Lesnar as the frame of reference.
Yeah.
And then just make the creeper around that.
Oh my
Creeper's
god.
head on Brock Lesnar's body.
Yes, there you go.
Should be good.
Yeah, Brock, you didn't
like
seem
it.
like you was having very much fun this year at Galacticon, buddy. That's not bad.
It's all right. I had a good time. I had a lot going on at home, and
Oh yeah, see, I didn't know about that till I read that after the fact.
yeah, the kids were frustrating. Like I said last week, if I were to do it again, I don't know if I'd bring the kids. And if Di would have been available, but she had to go get her phone taken care of because of that legendary Galacticon story now.
Yep, that is a
So-
legendary moment.
So I had fun. Like when I was actually able to like sit down and hang out, I had a good time. So yeah, it was good. I'm glad I went.
Yeah, like I enjoyed standing in the hallway outside the thing, talking to everybody, seeing Larry David.
Larry David was great.
All the 24-hour taco bar is things of legend.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And then that guy who'd started to eat off of it the next day.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm glad I didn't see that.
That's patient zero for the botulism outbreak of
Yep.
Chicago.
But yeah, I did have a good time. I had a couple of outbursts. It was all because of the hotel mainly, and I was just frustrated. But
yeah, for a Holiday Inn, that was a pretty bad Holiday Inn.
I agree.
Agreed.
That was like the
Agreed.
Carriage Inn of Holiday Inns.
But yeah,
But
I'm glad I went. I'm glad I got to see everybody, and I had a good time. Once Sunday hit, and I, realized, okay, I got to make the best of what I have left because I missed out on so much already. I actually had a good time. So
Yeah, I saw you playing in the Canada Cup. You was laughing.
yeah,
I'm like,
Murtak, the merciless.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
who
you got Murtak?
Yep.
Oh man.
I went
I
3 and 3
Rouser.
though.
I had Rouser. It
Nice.
was awful. It was
I drew-
so bad.
I drew somebody and then I just refused to play. So Matt played my guy too.
You had King Tux. He actually almost won our bracket, but he had to fight against Mimic, and we just couldn't beat Mimic. So that's what it was.
Mimic actually, I can't remember who he was fighting in the final, but the guy got Mimic down like 4 times, and he just kept rolling 1, put him back hurt. Get down 1, put him back. I'm like, dude, you could have, because I think they each scored a pinfall, so it was first 1 to 3.
It's funny in our bracket, King Tux beat everyone in our bracket but Mimic, and Mimic won out also. So he had the tiebreaker. So he just won it. King Tux in that belly flop over and over again, man.
I can't even remember who I had. But it was funny. I had like a 10-minute match versus Chad where no one could hurt each other. But then the next thing, I think I had Pulsar, and I beat Pulsar in like 4 moves.
Who was
Yep.
you?
I can't remember who I had. So
I don't remember.
It's funny because that's the thing with those jobbers. You know, they all have high pins, 4,
Yeah.
5, or a 6. Get it down, roll a pin, it's over.
I can't
Mhm.
believe
Yep.
there was that many people that you would classify as a jobber.
Oh, there's quite a few.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I even had about 5 or 6 left over that no one picked.
Because you can't look Mimic up on the COTG, can you? I don't think his card's on there anywhere. I wanted to look at
You
his
mean
back.
in the wiki? Oh, you know what year he's from, or when he was like released?
It was a
2086?
classic.
79. Or 2086?
Was it? It might have been 79. It was 79 or 86.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't have either of those.
Yeah.
I have it upstairs.
Well, that's not helping us now, is it, Brock?
Nope.
Nope.
Was Mike Fortune in the tournament? Because he's definitely a jobber.
No, there was no Mike.
Mike,
I could have
on
won
the
that.
on the drive back from Galacticon, Matthew pulled it up. He goes, "Look at this." He goes, "It's a Mike Fortune match. It was a match where you punched a guy in the dick, and then he punched you 4 times in the face, dude."
Yep.
Because he said he had to give you a receipt.
Yep.
Who was that?
I think I've told this story before. I can give you a quick rundown. So that guy was named Lord Jacob Kane, and I faced him earlier in that day. I was wrestling I double booked myself, so I was wrestling 6 times that day. I had to wrestle a tournament, and then earlier in that card, I wrestled a handicap match, and then I had to wrestle a tag match. So I wrestled 6 times.
Wow.
And in the tournament, I broke my arm in 3 spots midway through the tournament. So I had to continue wrestling with my arms broken in 3 spots. So I did another match and a half with my arm snapped, took some Tylenol 3s, drove from Toronto to Hamilton to wrestle some more times. So I did the handicap match, and then I had to do the tag match. So I'm wrestling Lord Jacob Kane. And back then I wrestled what they call strong style. And a lot of people hated wrestling me because I wrestled tight and physical. But Kane liked wrestling the same way. And
You was
I told
going
him,
for a gut shot, right?
pardon?
You was going for a gut shot.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, so if you look at the video, my arm is literally taped from my hands up to almost my elbow. I'm like, guys, I said, I probably broke my arm. Don't touch my left, because wrestling left arm. I said, nobody touch my left arm. And so at one point in the match, I'm supposed to dive across into and break the pin. But I put all my weight on my left arm, and as I go to hit him, I give him a nut shot.
Man, yeah.
And as soon as it happened, I know I'm expecting a receipt. That's just, it's going to happen. So he punches me, and then I get back up, and then he climbs in the ring after me, and he starts wailing on me. But if you look at the match, I'm not selling his punches.
Right.
I literally just take all 4 in the head, and I don't sell anything. And I just walk over to the rings and hop out. Now he edited. I have somewhere in my house the full match, but he edit parts out. So there's one part where I have a kendo stick, and I'm supposed to attack him with it. And you can see he's coming at me, and he's nervous as shit. And I swing the kendo stick. He ducks. He kicks me in the gut. I drop it. He picks it up, and he just gives me a love tap on the back.
It's all good now.
Yeah. And so, I go down, and I don't even know I'm busted open. I don't even know he's busted my head open because he cut my ear.
So you sold the kendo stick, but you sold the actual real life 4 punches to the face.
Yeah. And so it wasn't until I got backstage where everybody's like, "Man, you're bleeding pretty good." And then I go up to him. I'm like, "What's your issue? And he's like, "Well, you said I was stiff in the ring." I'm like, "Yeah, but I said I liked that, and it was good wrestling you because you wrestled the same way." And he's like, "Oh, he wasn't the brightest, sharp as a marble." And so after I healed up, I went back to the promotion, and I'm like, "Hey, give me a match with Kane." And they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And But about 6 months ago, he actually contacted me. And he sends me a message, and I'm like, "Who is this?" And he's like, "Hey, oh," he goes, "It's it's Kane." And he goes, "So we talked a bit, and he did apologize." And he goes, "My temper just got the best of me." And he goes, "But, he goes, you never," he goes, you never you stayed professional the whole time. He goes, "Because you could have waylaid me with that kendo stick." He goes, "But you didn't." He goes, "The only thing you did," he goes, "you didn't sell the punches." I'm like, in all honesty, I said, "I've been hit a lot harder."
Oh, in that video, he looks like he's thumping your head, man.
Oh, he is. But I also used to bounce at a biker bar. So, there were more than a few times where I went toe to toe with, Satan's Choice and some of their strikers. Those guys can punch.
See, that I just thought that showed a lot of class on your part, because I mean, I know you didn't mean to hit the guy in the nuts,
no.
but you hit him hard.
Yep.
And then when he gave you that receipt, I'm like, damn, Mike just took it and said, okay.
Well, see, now we know the story. It makes sense. Like, you had a busted arm, and like all you see in the video is just like this diving tag, and then like a nut punch, and then like you getting punched, and it's like, where's this all coming from? It's like very cut and dry. There's no backstory, so it's interesting to know
like
the
I
whole
said,
tale
he
now.
did a super edit on the
Yeah,
because
I
the
can
match
see
was like
that.
15 minutes long,
Right.
and I also didn't want to get into it because my arm was broken in 3 spots.
No way. Wrestling's fake.
So I wasn't a good amount of pain.
I bet.
Yeah.
But that was the story behind that match.
What were we
I was
talking
leaving
about?
the story, but yeah, there are other matches on me on tape. I think that there's a battle royal where I'm actually with Josh Alexander, and we were told, if you're not one of the final 4, get out of the ring. And so I look over and I got Josh Alexander. I'm like, "Josh," I said, I said, "I'm number 5," and he goes, "Okay, go to throw me out, I'll reverse it." I'm like, okay. And then Josh dumped me.
I heard battle royals are not fun to be in. Can you confirm
They are
or
my
deny
favorite
that?
matches.
Oh yeah.
I love battle royals. You can do so much in a battle royal, but promoters don't know how to market them properly. I've only had 1 or 2 that can work a battle royal properly. Like, my job in a battle royal as one of the biggest guys, I come in, I beat guys up, I throw guys out, and then I usually get tossed out by the eventual winner. Because, it makes them look big because they just throw out the guy who did the most damage.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have little mini feuds and stuff happen in battle royals, but people, the promoters don't care. They're like, "This is the order you're going in," or sometimes everybody's in there. Final 4. I don't care what happens. Final 4.
Interesting.
But you
It's a good place
so
to set up some feuds and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's perfect for that. But so many promoters are just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think inversely to that, like battle royals sometimes aren't as fun to watch though, because there's like no real rope work, like in a meaningful way of like there's like a normal match, or like top rope, like, anything off the turnbuckle really doesn't happen, because it's like you go up there, you're just gonna get pushed out, and it's like no one's gonna do it. So thematically, no one does it, right?
No, and it's funny, in that same battle royal, we got a female in the ring. Beautiful Bia. And it's funny, and she worked for WWF for a couple dark matches, I think. But I grabbed her by the leg and I start dragging her in, and you hear the fans just freak out because she's 5'6" and 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And I lean in to go get her, and I'm like, "Kick me in the head hard," and she.
Did you make her use the female conversion chart?
He did.
I told her to kick me hard.
Did you hold her upside down and just shake the coins out of her pockets? You bully.
But I let her drop me to one knee.
Okay.
So she got
Which
one
is
move.
it's kind of impressive, considering like usually like when females are wrestling against males in any capacity, like that drop to the one knee is like a groin shot or like some sort of like a legal move, Like China did it a lot in WWF, where she'd like always like low blow guys.
No, but I told her, kick, hoof me in the head, and she didn't hold back because I told her, kick me hard.
Oh man, that'd be great.
So yeah, somewhere on YouTube is that battle royal somewhere.
Nice. I'm gonna search out any reference of Mike Fortune on YouTube and put it in the description below.
There's actually a big interview, a 4-part interview of me on there too somewhere.
Hey, Brock, have you watched that receipt video?
No,
Look it up.
I'm going to.
Mike gets punched hard. And like he says, he does not sell it. That dude thumped him.
I can take a punch.
But see, we got it on not just audio, we got it on video. So anybody on the board that wants to steal it, no. The power creep was born on this show, and he's turned into the power creeper.
Yep. It has to happen now.
Oh, I'm already thinking about.
I'm just waiting to get a contract from the Filsinger Game Company to actually pay for my ideas.
Yep, there you go.
They stole your bribery chart.
Hey man, I don't want to talk about it. This isn't the forum.
I heard about that, but okay.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, for being here. It's always good talking to you.
It's a blast talking to you guys.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Always. It's our longest with three Zoom calls if you guys can't see all the edits.
Hey man. Don't cut us down to 20 minutes again, Brock.
Hey,
I see you at Galacticon.
With the power creeper.
With the power creeper.
He's coming. And he might even be drawn by Banks.
No. We got it. This has to happen. All right. Thanks again, guys. Always a pleasure. Sure we'll have you back. There's more gladiators to discuss.
We can come back when it's not gladiators, you know.
What are you talking about?
Bring me back when you guys talk about for the secondary topic, like GWF versus Legends of Wrestling. And we'll do like a hot take episode, and I'll give you all the hot takes, and I'll be the biggest heel in the promotion. I don't care. It's fine.
That was almost me last week, but I thought better of it.
Hey man, we can tag team, Brock. I don't care.
There we go. Awesome. There's also links below to all the other Filsinger Games related content that's out there that we know of. We have the podcasts from the official podcast, Roll Up. We have the Legends Teams podcast, Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpre. And there's some other things listed there, a couple YouTube channels. Grant's YouTube channel is great. Check that out. Yeah, and I can't think of all of them off the top of my head, but they're all listed below. And if you have something that you're not on our radar, please let us know. We'd love to include your link below as well. And we want to get the word out as much as we can about this game we all love. So, yeah. That's all I've got.
Night, folks.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take it easy.
Later.
Later.